So I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this, but I am going to give my 2 cents into this, okay? I've been watching a couple of videos of people talking about this, and I looked into this and the first point that I want to make before I go any further into this video is that Doc should have never engaged with a minor, right? I think everyone's on the same page with that, no matter if you're a big or small streamer or a nobody streamer, right? You don't fuck with minors. And if anyone comes around giving off that kind of a vibe or admits they're a minor, you fucking yeet them out the door and tell them come back when you're older. You don't ban them, you just kick them and say you're not old enough to be here and you can't even talk to us anyway, so get the fuck out, right? I mean, that's essentially what you tell these kids that are doing this. But that's the problem that I'm fixing to bring up right now, is that this is a strategy employed by toxic left-wingers to trap people, right? See, most normal people, don't even, it doesn't even go this far with normies, right? But when you're talking about big name streamers and certain individuals, yeah, in my opinion, this is a direct attack on Dr. Disrespect. The second thing I want to point out on this is, yeah, money was paid out, right? There was a settlement. But who paid the money? Twitch was the one who paid Dr. Disrespect. And I'd also like to point out that it was the Twitch employees that were involved in this situation that leaked this information or started running their mouths, right? Twitch could be sued again for this. So, in my opinion, this is what self-destruction and full meltdown looks like when you're dealing with these toxic left-wingers and all of these positions of power within unfortunately our hobby, right? Which is gaming. Y'all are just flat out literally going to self-destruct and do whatever, it doesn't matter how much money you lose or how many, flat out L's you take, right? You honestly sit there and think that the social aspect or the people's court, like that's even a fucking thing, is going to weigh more than the law of the land or a court of law, right? This is the entire problem with all of you commie leftards, right? You want to sit here and pretend that the court of public opinion has more validity than a court of law. And when things in court of law don't go your way, you use this as a weapon to try to destroy someone's life. That's what y'all do. You go around, you call people Nazis and all this other bullshit, right? You go around, you do all this other crap, right? You see, the thing is that this isn't going to go socially the way you think it's going to go. The bad actors and all of this situation are on Twitch's side of the aisle. And I'd also like to bring up a fact of reality here when we're talking about minors, the internet, and Twitch interaction, right? You can easily, unless the user lies about their age, you can easily put a tag next to someone's name in Twitch to let people know they're underaged. So, at what point does some of this responsibility fall onto these websites, right? Coming into Discord and all that stuff, that's a different situation, right? But when you're talking about platforms like this, steps can be taken to prevent this from ever happening, right? There's a reason why I have my Discord locked down tighter than a nun's vagina, right? I'm gonna show y'all this shit, right? So I've gotten rid of quite a few of them, but there are still people that do the same thing to me. Minors try to contact me on Discord all the time. I ignore them like this. right? That's how easy it is, guys, to get rid of fucking children off your fucking platforms. All right? You know, people that think they're gonna sit there and try that shit, they're called thirst traps. For those of you that don't know what a thirst trap is, this is an example of a thirst trap. Dr. Disrespect is an alpha bro dude that thought he can get away with anything and essentially self-clapped himself. So when it comes to the psychological analyzation of your opponent here, left wing, which is Dr. Disrespect, you were correct and you executed your tactics properly. But when it comes to people like me, hey, nope. So, and then of course, there's the fact that, you know, again, it's in arbitration, right? When you go through arbitration, it's a completely different situation than going through normal lawsuits or normal settlements. Basically, the human resources departments of any given company, whether it be Papa John's, which is where all this started, which was Papa John's and their fucking arbitration, right? And this aids, right? Because Papa John's, as we all know, has been through multiple lawsuits with drivers in the last 15, 20 years and have lost those lawsuits. And I'm one of those people that benefited from those lawsuits against Papa John's for not paying their delivery drivers enough money. And you know what Papa John's did? They introduced arbitration. And they get you to sign away your fucking rights as an American citizen to work at that company. And that's been going on all over. How many of you that work for how many of you local baristas or hamburger flippers watching me right now can sit there and say the same thing about your fucking companies, right? You know, that you work for. Like, you know, if like let's say McDonald's was caught fucking around and you wanted to make them find out, they're gonna sit there and wave their finger at you and say, arbitration, arbitration. You didn't say the magic word, you know. So basically, lawfare, Democrat left-wing lawfare, has essentially circumvented people or circumvented civil fucking rights, is what I'm trying to get at. Okay? So when you know this stuff, right, it's up to you at this point to be self-aware of it if you want to continue to participate in literally anything nowadays, right? You know, these corporations and this fucking this crazy psychotic left-wing element have decided that, you know, they're going to literally structure legislation and terms of services, for example, to essentially take away your rights in order to participate. Because the only way for these companies to get away with the laws that they're breaking is to get you to do that. Otherwise, these people wouldn't be able to be in business. You ever consider that? Of course you fucking haven't. The only thing you consider is your goddamn $1,000 JPEG that hasn't made it into the game yet. Y'all want to sit there and ignore all this stuff going on, man. But look, the man had already gone through all of everything that needed to happen, right? And because of a couple of fucking left-wing activists within Twitch, they decided that his punishment wasn't good enough. Where in your minds do you think you get to be judge, jury, and executioner? Left-wing? You don't. Now, there are those of you that say that his career is over. I disagree. Not when there's a lot of people like me out here that are looking at it for what it is. There are so many of you that are just desperate to delete people like me and Doc and Asman off the internet. And you're sitting here, you know, plotting and scheming as I speak and as I post this video on how you're going to do that. So, you know, it's pretty obvious what you're dealing with, right? When you know what when you know what you're getting, when you know what you're dealing with at that point, right? When you know you can't negotiate with people, or even try to talk to people that have already got it in their heads that they're going to label you as whatever, right? Then you might as well just say, you know, fuck the formalities and treat them the same way. This is a dangerous game that's being played right now. I don't think a lot of people realize just how much Twitch and YouTube and gamer culture in 2024 has a profound impact on modern day politics. There's a lot of you that want to sit there and try to divorce that and try to air quote keep it out of video games, right? But then use that same left wing ideology to persecute people like me out of video games. So you're hypocrites. People see that, and you know it's not gonna. And you know, like I said, this behavior is making people so angry. The resentment and the hatred that is being caused because of just flat out petty jealousy at this point, right? And people see that, and they're gonna take note of this shit, right? You know, yeah, Doc did wrongs. It's very much fucking said here in this long post. But is Doc a pedophile? No. I mean, for how many fucking years did you people think it was that bathroom stall incident that he got sued over or whatever the fuck does it? It had nothing to even do with that. There are countless examples of high-profile people on the internet being targeted by just flat-out sociopathic, psychotic individuals that are trying to structure a way to make someone break the law. That's essentially what we're dealing with right now. Because these people are cowards and pussies, and they'll never take you out on their own. They're not even capable of doing so. So this is the kind of tactics they have to employ and use. You know, these kind of people are no different than the kind of stupid bitch back in high school that would accuse somebody of some type of sexual assault or sexual blah blah blah, right? Turned out she lied, right? And you know, somebody's life could have been completely destroyed because of some lying cunt, right? Well, that's exactly what this is. It's exactly what a lot of you are. And if you agree with the behavior being done against Dr. Disrespect, that's exactly what you are. You are the person in school that no one fucking likes at all. Like literally nobody. You are that person. You're the person that is just such an unlikable individual, right? That no one wanted to hang out with you. Some of you try to say that about me, but that's just simply not fucking true. I'm based. And I see things for what they are. And people that can't handle that, you know, like most of you over there at Cloud Imperium Games, for example, target me and slander me for it. Because I actually hold you accountable. And I actually, you know, oh, I don't know, expose your incompetent game development for the entire world to see. So anyway, people are not going to take this laying down any longer, guys. All right. So I don't think his career's over. I honestly think it's gonna hit a new crescendo, right? Because these are belligerent attacks at this point, and this is lashing out of pure anger, spite, and panic, right? Trying to literally get rid of people that, you know, in some way, you know, influence the culture of the United States of America. And yes, I'm going there. A group of people with an ideology infiltrating and trying to hijack all forms of control in this country, whether it be on a local, or a federal level, whether it be in a company or your local McDonald's. These people are literally trying to do everything they can to hurt anybody that would stand in their way from trying to essentially reprogram an entire generation. So yes, all these people on this in this freak culture in our country, they can't reproduce and propagate. Why do you think they're doing all this bullshit with the men can have babies and all this stuff? See, the thing is that smart people know that in order for those people to continue to exist, they have to create more of them. And in order to create people like that, you have to emotionally and psychologically manipulate someone in order to do so. So when people call these individuals groomers, for example, yeah, that's exactly what the fuck y'all are. Y'all are trying to literally groom an entire generation to think, act, and even have sex the way you do. It's disgusting. It's some straight up 1984 shit. And when it comes to Star Citizen, it's Fahrenheit 451. See what I did there? So yeah, you guys can continue to think that this is a victory for the trans movement. It's not. This is not a victory. This is a massive fucking L. Right? Because this is not going the way y'all thought it was. Because if you're gonna sit here and be like the court of public opinion, well, this judge in the public court of opinion decrees that all of you are fucking idiots and trying to sit here and ruin people's lives that you don't like because they don't fuck the way you do, dress the way you do, act the way you do, and even talk the way you do, right? It's got to come to an end. It's going to come to an end. You want to know why it's going to come to an end? Because nobody, regardless of how you like to fuck, likes paying for $4 a gallon for gasoline.